Hi, my name is Caitlin with Homestead Hijinks, and today I'm making Italian sub rolls. I got this recipe from Heather, the Kneady Homesteader, and if you haven't checked her out, you really should. I will leave her link below. But today we are trying her meatball subs, and pretty much everything is from her recipes, but all I'm going to show you is the sub rolls. Anything else, I will link those videos below for you to watch. But we are starting out with 1.5 cups of warm water, a tablespoon of instant yeast, and this might be a little bit tricky for me to do since I'm having to hold the camera myself and I have a baby on my back. 2 teaspoons of salt. Actually, I'm going to add the sugar first just because that's the order that I normally make bread in. She has the salt listed first on her website, and I'm sure it doesn't matter what order you use, but 2 tablespoons of sugar. And I just like to mix that together a little bit. Okay. Now I will add the 2 teaspoons of salt. And 2 tablespoons of softened room temperature butter. Which my butter's probably not near soft enough, but... And then again, I'll let that mix for a few. Okay, and you can either use half a cup of warm milk or 1 cup of warm milk with 4 tablespoons of milk powder. I'm doing the milk powder just because that's easiest to me and cheaper. So to the warm water there in the cup, I will add 4 tablespoons of milk powder. Okay. I don't know how easily you can tell on the camera, but that is starting to look like milk. Well, technically, it essentially is milk. Okay, I'll just use my tablespoon to give that a little bit of a stir since I'm done with the tablespoon now. And add it straight into everything else. Alright, now let that get mixed a little bit. And her recipe calls for approximately 6 cups of flour. I'm not sure how my flour and everything will behave today, so I'm going to start with 5 and then I'll gradually add as it needs it. So, I'm going to add my 5 cups of flour. 1. That's about 4.5. Alright, we will start out with that and let it get good and mixed together. Well, I try to get a little bit of more flour out to add. Alright, let's see where that is when it gets mixed. Recipe, and just judging by how it's going, I would start out with her 6 cups of flour and add as needed, because the this is not getting where it needs to be. As you can see, when I do that, it's still sticking a lot. That tells me it probably still needs quite a bit of flour. Okay, I am back, and I honestly don't remember exactly how much flour I've added so far, so I'm just going to add in about half-cup increments, and hopefully it gets where it needs to be here before too long. Mass of dough. Alright, so now we want to test it. You can see it's still sticking to me a little bit, so we need a little bit more flour. That's actually a trick I learned from Heather, because before I had no idea how to tell, and I was just following whatever the recipe said about how much flour to put on. That is looking perfect. I can't tell by looking if it's where we want it to be. So yeah, that is absolutely perfect. So now I'm going to let this knead for 7 minutes. Okay, our 7 minutes is up, and I just got this out onto a board. It is sticking a little bit, but based on her video, that's pretty normal, and it's not too bad. So now we're just going to get it into a nice dough ball. Hi, Amaya. Amaya, say hi. Oh. And then we put it into a well-greased bowl. Normally, I would just use my KitchenAid bowl for this, but I also need to make brown sugar today, so I need to get that washed so I can make my brown sugar. I will leave links to brown sugar recipes below, but it's pretty simple. So now we just cover it with plastic wrap or a lint-free towel and let it sit for, I'm pretty sure, an hour. Okay, it has been an hour and our dough has risen really nicely. But now we just need to flatten it out and get air bubbles out. Just stretch it out, get any air bubbles out that you can see, pinch them out. And this dough should stretch really nicely. It shouldn't tear on you. If it does, just put it back together. It's not a big deal. And then we want to roll it up into a log. We want to take the side with the seam and just pinch it together. I'm sorry if the lighting is bad. We're kind of experimenting with what the best lighting is for the kitchen, so that you guys can easily see what I'm doing. Okay, now we want to keep stretching this, get it nice and even. It's probably going to be a little bit too big for my cutting board, but that's fine. Okay, now you take your nice little dough scraper and just cut it in half. Alright, cut both of these in half and then cut it in half one more time. Now I'm making a double recipe because I feed 3 adults and 2 toddlers, and my toddlers eat like grown men sometimes. But if you just need 4, it's fine, have the recipe. I'm pretty sure on her website hers is a double recipe as well, because she has quite a large family. Okay, now I just want to deal with one at a time. Grab one and just start rolling it out. Just gently roll it, pinch out any air bubbles you see. And apply just a little bit of pressure here to help it. And then just flatten it a little bit. I'm just using vegetable oil spray. You can use coconut oil. You can use whatever you have. Alright. And then just lay them nicely. Make sure they're nice and even. And then just keep doing that to all of them. Now some of mine might be a little bit smaller. Again, I have toddlers, so I don't want them to have huge ones. That's fine. And Maya, give the phone back to Emerson, please. Now I'm just going to do this to all 8 of them, and then I'll be back. Okay, now I have all of them rolled out, so we're just going to let those rise again. I'm not sure how long, but I will look the recipe up and we will be back.